Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Thank you for joining me. We've got some new Wet n Wild products that I just got in the mail yesterday and I cannot wait to try them. I'm always excited to try new products, but it's always even more exciting, I think, to try drugstore products. They're affordable, and Wet n Wild is still a very affordable brand at the drugstore considering the prices of products nowadays. They have been able to maintain that lower cost, which is great, and I'm excited to try these products, share my thoughts with you, tell you if I like the formulas, if I recommend them. So if that sounds good, then let's go ahead and jump right in. Kicking things off, the first product is a new primer. This is the Prime Focus Clingy Serum Primer with 5% niacinamide. It is supposed to keep your makeup on up to 16 hours. I'm looking on the Wet n Wild website and it says it's packed with 5% niacinamide, 8% glycerin to brighten, hydrate, and give the skin a gorgeous dewy finish. Just apply a thin layer to clean skin, let set for a minute, and you'll be all set for up to 16 hours of wear. So it all sounds really great. And of course, the clingy, grippy type of primers is not new to the market. I feel like Wet n Wild is just jumping on that train of grippy primers. I kind of have a love-hate relationship personally with grippy type of primers. So I do have a little bit of optimism still left in me when it comes to these products, which is why I keep trying them, especially new ones, because someone might be watching and is interested in trying something new from the drugstore, looking for that really great, grippy, clingy type of primer. This is supposed to be a serum, so I think it's going to be a little bit thinner. I like the packaging. Comes with a pump. I like the colors of the actual pump, and the product has a bit of a tint to it as well. And it comes out just like a standard kind of jelly base. If I can get it, you got to prime that pump first. Brand new product. Well, I don't know. Is it going to come out? So it does come out with that typical kind of jelly consistency. It looks like it has a tint in the bottle, but of course, as always, that tint doesn't really show up on the skin. It does have that sort of sticky kind of, do you see that? Yeah, I think my camera is able to capture that. It is seemingly very sticky, kind of goopy. I don't know, like I said, oh yeah. I don't know why I have so much fun doing that. That's very weird. Anyways, I have a love-hate relationship with grippy primers. I've tried the new ones from Maybelline and they didn't quite work with the new Maybelline foundations. I feel like these grippy primers, if they're not really well blended into the skin, I feel like it doesn't help with blending the foundation very evenly. And I also think that maybe sometimes the skincare underneath, the SPF products, those types of things, can really alter how this wears and looks, how it blends. So I'm just not a fan. I feel like I need a little bit more. I'm gonna go for just another little bit. It's probably about another pump's worth. So I'm not a fan. And I do have, like I said, a little bit of optimism. You never know. This might be just the thing that I enjoy using. The grippy primer that blows the other ones out of the water. We shall see. So this is, it's sticky. I can't. Let's see. Let's do the test. Does it stick? Nope. Do you ever see that on Instagram and it sticks to someone's face? It's not. Like, oh, okay. Wow. Love that for me. Okay, so enough playing with the products and trying to get things to stick on my face because that's, again, a weird thing. I don't know what's going on with me today. I'm just in this weird kind of silly mood. I don't know. Maybe it's just not enough coffee or maybe too much coffee. I don't know. Anyways, foundation. I decided to try the Revlon Foundation paired with this new primer. This is the Longwear Foundation from Revlon, the Color Stay, if I can get the cap off. This is in the shade 150, yes, and it's the one for combination to oily skin. Another new product that we're going to integrate into today's video are actual applicators. On the Wet n Wild website, if you do take a look at it, they have a few different tools. So they have their version of a powder puff. I did not order that. That's $3.29. And I decided to skip out on that just because I have plenty of powder puffs. But the one that I did pick up is a 3-piece cushion sponge set. It's $5.29 for 3 pieces. And it's really cute. They're really soft and kind of like puffy and like a little cloud. I like the way these feel. And so this is supposed to be an innovative cushion-like material with microporous outer layer. These ultra soft sponges blend makeup seamlessly for a streak-free airbrush finish. The stretchy ribbon on the back ensures hands-free comfort, while 3 versatile shapes make it easy to apply liquid or powder. That's interesting. on every area of your face. Perfect for a flawless look. So we're going to use these as much as I can. Also, I did not mention that the price of the primer, let me pull that back up, is $6.39 on the Wet n Wild website. That's where you'll be able to find the majority of the new products. If they're not in store yet, their website does have these products. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is pump the foundation onto the back of my hand. I did about a pump, so that shade 150. Again, that was the Revlon Foundation. And I think that maybe we should go with the larger of the three. So there's three sizes. These smaller ones are probably more suited for like the eye area, especially this one. That might be good for concealer. This one maybe for bronzer, blush, I don't know. And then this one, I feel like it covers more area of the face, and I like that sort of stretchy ribbon that it said that it had for hands-free. So I don't know about hands-free because you got to use your fingers, but you know, kind of do what I do with the sponge, just kind of working it a little bit and seeing how this, actually, I feel like I need a better, yeah. Index and middle finger is the way to go. But I do feel like because that material on the back is a little bit slippery, I feel like my fingers are kind of not really well gripped. So I kind of have to spread my finger a little bit to give some tension with that little ribbon there to really keep it onto my finger, if that makes sense. Okay, so this larger one is good for blending on this side of the face and the cheeks. We'll see how it works between the brows and the forehead. Okay, that's looking okay over the primer, this foundation. It's not really doing much for my pores, but I don't think that that's one of the claims of this product anyways, the primer, to help with the pore situation and pore filling. I think that's going to have to be something else that I use, a different primer. This is just meant to kind of grip everything, keep it in place. So I basically have used everything that I pumped out, that one pump for this portion of my face. I have yet to cover my forehead and the other side of my face, so I feel like maybe the sponge is kind of eating up a lot of my products. So again, we're going to do the same thing, another additional pump, spread that out first with my finger, and then go back in with that same kind of bouncy motion here and start blending on this side. Moving on to concealer, I'm going to use another one of those sponges, but I am going to use my CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. The shade that I have is L600 Light Nude. I have not used this in a while, so I figured I'd show it some love. I'm going to do the same thing on the back of my hand like I did with the foundation. I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just kind of spread it over a larger area instead of swiping, because I don't need a lot of concealer. And I want to try this little guy here. This one has that bit of a point to it, so I feel like it's going to be ideal for getting under the eyes. And for this one, you just need the one finger to really blend this in. I like that point. I do appreciate that because I feel like it helps you get right into this inner corner, and this is nice. And it's blending the concealer in nicely, and I feel like it's helping keep the concealer from looking heavy. Maybe because it kind of absorbs into the sponge a little bit, so you don't get as much blended under the eyes possibly. But I do like this. This is nice. This is cute. I do like this one over the larger size for the concealer. So let's do the other side. I did have to go back in and get more product because I did not have enough with that first application. So just keep that in mind that these will kind of absorb some of your products. So you will need a little bit more than what you are typically used to using. Part of their new launches is their original Photo Focus loose powder, but in a pink form. So this is the original Photo Focus translucent. This one is okay. It's not my personal favorite, but I feel like it's fine, being that the drugstore doesn't really have a ton of really great loose powders. I prefer the Fit Me from Maybelline. But when I was looking at that pink, soft pink is what it's called, the color, it's $6.39 for the container, and I think it's the same size as this original one. I was looking at the ingredients, and they seem very similar to the pink powder that was released with the limited edition Hello Kitty 50th anniversary collection. I didn't see any differences in ingredients, so I didn't buy that one for the video. I do like the packaging on that. It has a pink circular cap on the top. So being that I did not really care for the pink in this powder when I tried it with the Hello Kitty collection that I posted a while back, I just skipped out on it. And like I said, it's not my favorite powder. So I think I'm just going to use the original. I wasn't a fan of the pink one. I felt like it didn't really do any brightening. So Again, I'm not going to try the new one that says new on the website because I think it's the same exact thing. This is just super messy, and that's probably another reason why I don't use this one as much. And it's bulky. Look how big this is. This is enormous. Like, who's going to be able to finish one of these? You know what? Let's try. It said that you can use these for liquids and powders. So let's go ahead and just kind of dip from the cap and pick some of that up to set the under eye. Okay. I like it for powder too. Let's see how this powder looks over that Covergirl Concealer. Okay, not bad, not bad. It definitely mattified, did its job. And I like this little guy. Yeah, I'm going to use this one again. Definitely. I don't know why this little thing excites me so much. I have no idea, but I do really like this little guy here. So you may have noticed that my brows were already filled in at the start of the video. I actually did use a brow pencil from Wet n Wild. I wanted to revisit the retractable brow pencil, and I used the shade medium brown, and I feel like it did a decent job. Has a little bit of a waxier kind of consistency with the formula, so that's what I have on now. And then here comes the next new product. It's the Mega Stay Extreme Hold Brow Gel. Like the packaging, look how cute this is. It's really, really small. I feel like the tube is smaller than the actual cap. Look, you see that? This part is the actual tube, and then here's the cap. But on the website, it's a Extreme Hold Brow Gel. Lightweight gel instantly sculpts and shapes with extreme staying power. Enjoy a non-sticky hold and a clear finish, perfect for achieving a laminated brow look. Use the small brush to lift and set hairs in place for up to 16 hours of flawless flake-proof wear. So, I'm all about the flake-free. I don't like my brow gels to turn white, crunchy, crispy, kind of flake off. No one likes that. I like the small little brush, and this is super, super, super tiny, and I'm pretty sure I've already shown you this up close. It's a short little applicator or a little spoolie, but it is a little bit wider. It's not as thin as maybe some other ones that you have seen or tried. When you do pull this out for the first time, you do get a lot of product on the applicator, and because it's clear, you may not be able to see it very well on camera with the lights here, but maybe if I get a little bit closer, you see all the product that's on there. Wipe some of this off, and then use this to brush up my brows up in the front part and then over on this side. Now I'm not going to go back in because there's still product on the other side of the spoolie that I didn't use, so I'm going to use that side to comb up and then over. Okay, so I can feel, if I move my brows, that there's something through the brows, and I feel like this could have the potential for being a really good hold. Now, I have some wild hairs. I do need something with hold to keep them laying down, and this does feel like it has some nice grip through the hair, and I can still feel that it's there. I can feel that there's something in the brow, so that may or may not be a good thing for you, depending on your personal preferences and what you look for, but I don't mind it because I want to know and feel something is there and it's doing its job at holding it down. So I do like that, and you know what? That brow pencil was actually not bad, and it's just a couple bucks. It's probably less than $4. I want to move on to some bronzer. I don't have a liquid bronzer or a cream bronzer from Wet n Wild. I think they have a stick bronzer, but I don't have that, so I'm going to just use a liquid contour in the shade 01 Honey from Milani. It's the squeeze tube that looks like this. I haven't used this in a while, and I thought I'd revisit it. The cap is just an absolute disaster. It's a mess. It's that puffy tip. It's love-hate, honestly, for me personally with this. So what I'm going to do is take some of this onto the back of my hand because I really want to use that last sponge in the trio that we have not tried yet, and just pick up a little bit on the very edge of it and just kind of tap and work that bronzer into the sponge, and then we're going to start trying to add some of this and see if it works. And I'm assuming it's going to work just like it did for the concealer and the foundation. Okay, so I feel like it is applying the product nicely, and it's blending, and it's looking a little more seamless as it's kind of blending into the foundation, which is nice. I do still have to continue blending a little bit more, but on this side that I've added the product, see, this side doesn't have anything yet, so on this side, I do feel like it definitely did a nice job at blending and applying right over the foundation. And I don't feel like it's lifting the foundation underneath, which is great. So I'm just going to continue working this in. and kind of blending this around my hairline. And here is the bronzer blended in using that medium size sponge from that trio set. I feel like it definitely did a nice job at blending and getting into the hairline and then just making it look really seamless and just more blended and smooth. I like this sponge for the bronzer, and I also liked it for concealer. And since I used some Milani bronzer, I figured I'd try the actual Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush and Glow, also from Milani, in the shade Dolce Pink number 130. Kind of revisiting this formula. It's been a little while since I've used it, and I figured I'd try it with that same little sponge that I just used for the Milani bronzer. I do have powder blushes from Wet n Wild. I don't have, actually, I thought I had a liquid blush from them. It's not here in my little stash. I wonder where that went. Anyways, we're just going to use this one here. I'm going to do the same thing, kind of work that product into my hand, and using my hand today as a makeup palette. It's okay because I did wash my hands prior to this. And let's go back into that little medium size, little puff cloud cushion sponge. I don't even know what they're technically called. And let's go on the higher points, since this does have a little bit of a glow to it. I don't want to bring this too close to my nose, so keeping it a little higher up. More glowy than I remember it being, actually. Not sure how I feel about these. They're pretty, but you have to really like the glowy. It's not like ultra metallic and glitter, but it is glowy, so it kind of is like a blush and highlight in one. So it kind of knocks out a couple steps, which is great. I like this color. I feel like this is my favorite one out of the ones that I own. I have 3 different shades, and this is by far the prettiest, I think. I would definitely recommend these little cushiony sponges. Doing my whole makeup routine just about without a brush yet. We have not used a brush yet. Wow. Okay. I like it. What do you think? All right, I am back now with a little bit of eyeshadow. I did that off camera. I took a couple of my Wet n Wild Color Icon palettes. These are actually pretty decent for the price point. So I took the Color Icon in Nude Awakening and Lights Off, and I kind of mixed the two. So primarily the Nude Awakening is the one that I have on my upper lids. So I took these sort of lighter shades here, basically these 4. Started off with this shade over my primer to set it. Took this color right next door for the crease. This is on my lid with a little bit of this kind of right over the top in the center of the lid, kind of tapped out, and also in the inner corner. And then I kind of hopped over to the Lights Off palette for this really dark, really rich brown shade, and it is incredibly pigmented, and I use that under the lower lashes for a little bit of a smoky eye. Down in the bottom lashes, and then I blend it out just a little bit with that same shade that I have in the crease, blended that dark brown out, and that's pretty much all I've done off camera. And that brings me to the next new product for Wet n Wild. It's actually a new liquid liner. It's the Breakup Proof Wing It Out Waterproof Liquid Liner. So they have the regular Breakup Proof Waterproof eyeliners, and these are just the regular brush tips that look like that. But what makes this new one different is that it actually has an angle to it. So if you like to do wing liner, you can certainly do that with this. So the actual applicator has a bit of an angle to it, which is different. It seems to be like it is a brush tip that is kind of similar to the same material that they used for their original formula, but this is obviously a little bit wider and cut at an angle. I don't typically do a lot of liquid liners day to day, nor do I do wings, just because I feel like I'm not the best at doing wings. So I'm going to use this pretty much the same way that I would use any sort of liquid liner. And I'm going to start by drawing on a thin line close to the root of my lash, and I'm using that sort of angled side, the side that has more slant towards the base of my lashes. And I'm going to do tiny little strokes really close. So I feel like I'm able to get right on my lash line. And one thing that I noticed is that this actually has a much more stiff applicator than what you would typically expect from liquid liners. It doesn't have a lot of give to it. So if I kind of do a bit of a line on my, whoa, look how pigmented that is. That is insane. Do you see that? Let me put my mirror down. That is the actual pigmentation of it. So it's ultra black, and I think that's what it's called. Yeah, ultra black, and this is made in Korea. So it's a nice matte formula, which I like, but there is a little bit of stiffness to this, so keep that in mind. And I think I need to stop blabbling in order to be able to focus and do this without messing it up. Okay, so I do feel like I kind of messed up right in this inner corner. It is a little bit thicker in a little spot, so I'm going to have to try to figure out how to clean that off. But I do like the richness and how dark it is. I just feel like there's not a lot of give. So when I was trying to do my little thin little strokes to kind of almost like connect the dots situation, that's what makes it easier for me. I feel like it was just a little bit harder. And when I go over the liner, I do feel like the formula, it's already really dry. So when you try to go over it, it almost feels just a little bit tough to get through and kind of fix up any mistakes. I may just have to leave it like this. Let's try this other side and see if I can get it, hopefully, to match. Whew, okay. Does anyone ever feel like they just kind of hold their breath and they stop breathing when they're doing a liquid liner, especially something so intense? I'm not sure if this is quite for me. I like the rich, dark, matte pigment. And I think there's a time and a place for like a smoky eye, or if I was going to put on false eyelashes, I think this would be a great liner to use to disguise the band of the falsies with a natural lash line. But for every day, I just feel like this is so intense. And so what I tried to do was place the liner down and then try to drag it as I would with other liquid liners that have a little bit more flexibility, more give to the tip. And I was able to get it a little bit kind of even, but not quite as precise as I would like. So I had to go back and fix it. So it ended up being thicker on this side, and then I had to go and make it match on this side, which is, that's just the name of the game when it comes to liquid liners for me. If you like to do a lot of wing liner, then you may want to give this a shot because it is made for winging out liner with that sort of angled. I just think that it's a little intense. The color is very, very dark and rich. Maybe with some mascara, maybe that will be that sort of bow on the present kind of moment where it kind of pulls everything together and makes it look better. So let's do that. Let's put on some mascara. I'm back with some mascara. I use my L'Oreal Telescopic mascara that looks like this. And I do feel like this definitely gave me a really dark, rich lash look. And it definitely made my lashes kind of still be noticeable with that thicker liner. And I think now I'm okay with the liner being so intense because of the mascara. And that's one of the things that I love about mascara. It's that final touch for the eyes that without it, it looks incomplete. And now I feel so much better about it. That is a little bit of a learning curve with that. But I do like the end result. What do you think? We've got some new lip products and I am really excited. There's one product in particular that I am just ultra giddy about and I really hope it works out. I purchased a few of their lip oils. This is not a new formula. It's just new to me. It's new on their website. I think you can purchase these in store wherever the Wet n Wild brand is sold, or maybe just it's Walmart. I haven't seen these at my local Target, but maybe just that one didn't carry it. But the lip oils, I have not tried their colored lip oils. I have a few from the Hello Kitty collection, and these were very intense, like pigment overload on these, not what I expected. And what you see is what you get with those. So I wanted to try some more softer, approachable, more wearable, everyday type shades. Vintage Society. Then I also have Cocoa Rose, which is really pretty with a little bit of sparkle. And then I also have Fuzzy Pillow, which looks like it might just have a little bit of a tint, just a slight kind of pinky sheen to it, which is nice. So let's just go ahead and try Vintage Society. And here is Vintage Society Lip Oil. I actually think this is a really nice formula. I think it's a really great option to choose from at the drugstore. It's much more affordable. I don't think that this would take the place of my e.l.f. lip oils. Those are my absolute holy grail #1 lip oil, both high-end and drugstore. The e.l.f. ones is where it's at, but these are actually nice. Next up is the Perfect Pout Lip Liner Stain. It's a pen that is supposed to stain your lips, but the applicator is quite different. Stila has something very similar to this. I've seen some like pen style stains from Covergirl. I do have one that I want to try, but that applicator is quite different. This one is definitely unique. It's a very thin, almost like a paddle type shape, which is different. And it's ultra thin if you turn it on its side. And it has a bit of kind of like a point, so you can really kind of line and kind of do that lip liner technique, but with a stain, which is great for longevity. So I have one shade. I think there's a couple to choose from, and I ordered the shade I'm Blushing. So let's go ahead and swatch this on this other hand here. Let me show you what that looks like. So I just did some thin lines there, but if you were to use it on the flat side to maybe fill in your lips, which you could totally do that, it's a little bit of a wider on its on the flatter side, but then when you put on the angle there, it gives you that kind of thin, more precise shape. So that looks really pretty. A lot deeper actually than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a little bit softer and more kind of nude, but that actually looks really nice. So the liner stain pen comes in 3 shades and they're $4.99. So I'm gonna take off this lip oil and let's go ahead and try this out. Okay, so here is the unblushing stain. Now, here's the thing with this. The issue that I'm going to run into, I think, with me personally, is that I like to go back and go over it, kind of clean up. If I kind of get out of the lip line, I can always go back in and clean that up with some concealer on a brush. But with this, it's the staining aspect, so I feel like if you make a mistake, you have to kind of quickly take care of that before you kind of continue on, because I feel like it's going to stain the skin. Like if you make an accident and come outside of the lip line, it's going to be a little bit harder. Like I feel like this line is not quite as overlined as I would like it to be, so I'm going to try to see if I can fix that. Okay, so that's a little bit better. I think that's much better looking. I was able to kind of clean that up on the top edge and that bottom edge as well. Now, I think that this could be a good idea for someone who has issues with lip liners staying on. If it kind of migrates and kind of disappears, if you've lost the definition of your lips, I can see why a stain would be helpful for that, because it kind of stays on longer. Now, I don't know if I really care for this shade. For me personally, I think it's a little bit deeper. Now, I don't know what's going to look like once this fades. This could be a nice color after it fades, but initially it's a little bit too berry and too dark for me. I think we're locked in. I do have another lip product that I want to try that I am so excited about, that I'm just really giddy about. So I'm going to let this dry for just another few seconds, and then we're going to do this new lip color. Okay, here we go. This next product I'm so excited about. It's the Mega Glitter Shimmer Liquid Lipstick. Do you remember a high-end infamous brand had a matte liquid lip that when you would let it dry, you press your lips together and it reveals the glitter? So beautiful, went viral. They all sold out every single shade. I couldn't even get my hands on one, but now Wet n Wild decided to do their version of it. And I'm here for it because it's a fraction of the cost of the high-end one. This is $5.99, and so far there's only 3 shades, I think, and I ordered the shade Pink Future. Of course I did. I ordered the pink one. And on the side, it tells you on the sticker to apply an even lip coat to your lips, let fully dry, then press your lips together to reveal a glittery finish. I cannot wait. I'm going to use that stain as a guide. Let's open this seal up and let's get going. Here's the applicator. It is a pointed sponge tip, which is nice. In the very center, there's a bit of a hole, kind of like a reservoir that holds the product there, so you don't have to re-dip necessarily into the tube if you don't need to, which is nice. And I like that it gives you a point for a little bit more precision there. And let's go ahead and apply. And here is Pink Future. It is quite dark. I'm going to let it dry, and I'm going to keep my lips from touching. Okay, I think we're dry enough, so let's do this little technique of pressing the lips together. Okay. There is a little bit of glitter. That is so cool. Okay, I feel like I've pressed my lips quite a bit and a little too aggressively, and I see some glitter, but it definitely is not as intense as the high-end version where it was just like, oh my gosh, if you could have seen that, it was like you would want every single shade. Like, give me all the shades right away. It was like this beautiful glitter, shimmer, like sparkle, something I've never seen before, and I'm so mesmerized by the way they look. But this gives you a little bit of glitter. You may not even be able to see it on camera. It's tiny little silver flecks. That is cool. Even though it's not as glittery as I was hoping, I was so excited about that. I still think that that's a really cool little thing to have, to try, where you get a matte liquid lip and then you press your lips together and then there's the glitter, and it gives you a little bit of extra pizzazz. Now, of course, this is supposed to be a matte finish, so it's not going to have that glossy look to it, which you can certainly put a gloss on top, but it may kind of alter the longevity and the wear of it. I think that's so neat. That's so cool. And it's like silver little glitter specks. Really, really tiny. It doesn't feel rough. It's like ultra microfine glitter, so I do appreciate that. I just wanted a little bit more glitter. And that's all the new products from Wet n Wild. I had so much fun with you guys today trying these new products out. I hope that this was enjoyable, seeing these new products, seeing the formulas, and kind of getting my thoughts on whether or not I would recommend them. And I think that overall, everything turned out to be pretty decent. I was so thrilled about the glitter lip product, and I actually feel like it was somewhat of just a tiny bit of a letdown because I personally wanted more glitter. I wanted it to look like just like a disco ball on my lips. I wanted to see what that would look like. I altered the lip and I wanted to kind of insert that to show you real quickly what it would look like if you topped it with something else. So we have that color base layer down, that glitter matte lip. Then I topped it with the Vintage Society lip oil over the top to kind of give me that gloss. Bring back that moisture and hydration that my lips are craving because this is a matte formula and not my favorite finish in lip products. So I wanted to kind of show you what that looks like if you were to mix it. The lip oils were great. The lip stain was just kind of so-so for me. Kind of going in back order, just kind of recapping things. I do think that so far my complexion looks fine. The little cushion tool was a little different and fun to try for blending in the foundation, the blush, bronzer, and concealer. I will use that again, and also for that setting powder, that was nice. I like the brow gel, and I actually did have a surprisingly positive first impressions with this serum kind of clingy primer that I typically don't really like in most brands. So yay, I think this was actually a very well done collection of new products. I am excited to have these now. Share with me your thoughts in the comments. I would love to know what you think about these new products. Thank you for being here, for watching today's video. Subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and you can also follow me on Instagram. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care, you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.